What's going on, everyone? My name is Hurston. Welcome to the Dimelo Podcast.
And my name is Ariel.
So this is our first episode with the Dimelo Podcast. Excited to be here. And so
this is wait. This is recorded in front of a live studio audience.
Live studio audience. It is actually produced by Dimelo 305 Productions, produced, directed. So we're excited to be a part of this project.
So should we say shout outs to Dimelo 305 Productions?
Shout out to Dimelo 305 Productions. Thank you for this beautiful setup. I believe this is the sangria next to me. So, oh my God. Stop.
I got cranberry juice. Why do you get sangria? See, this is what I don't like. They always treat you different.
No.
You get the good stuff. I don't like this.
So I always get the good stuff. I am single. That might be why I always get the good stuff.
So they feel sorry for you that you're single. Oh, I'm sorry.
No, I mean, I think personally, I love being single. I don't know how you do it. So tell me what led to you, jumping the broom, as they say. What led you to being married again?
Well, the
oh no, live studio audiences.
Live studio.
Tell them a little bit. Tell me about your first marriage. Tell us about the trilogy. It's like Lord of the Rings. It's just.
So the first time I got married, then I got divorced. The second time I got married, and I got divorced, and the third time I got married.
No. Shit.
When's the divorce?
We're working on it.
We're working on it.
Every day is a struggle. No, but I mean, it's just love, bro. I'm in love with love, and I love the people that have been into my life, and I just been in love with this person since I was in high school, so it's pretty good.
What do you remember? Like the first time you saw her in high school?
Yeah.
What was she wearing? Tell me about her.
We were in math class. We were in high school, so I walked in. She joined the class late in the year, and I used to sit all the way in the back, and all of a sudden I'm walking. I see this girl, like, oh shit. And then I started talking.
Gotta bleep that out. Gotta bleep that out. Dimelo 305 Productions. Yep, the shit.
The beep.
Yep,
okay, then I said, oh beep, and then that was pretty much it. I just, from the moment I saw her, I wanted to be with her.
And how did you pursue her? Did you say, hey,
No, I asked
bebé,
her for
¿qué
a pencil.
más? Did you tell her, ya chavala, ¿qué pasó?
I'm not cool, bro.
What did you do? What was your move? Back,
bro,
I'm guessing you were 15?
I was
16.
The most gangster thing I could do was hey, can I borrow a pen and paper?
Oh,
for
okay.
2 months consecutively.
So you asked her for a pen and paper.
Yeah.
Did you speak English or Spanish? Tell me about this transaction.
No, it was in Spanish. It was
Spanish?
A transaction made in Spanish.
Did you give her a little bit of Nica flavor? Did you offer her gallo pinto? Did you offer her fried cheese?
No, but I couldn't bring it to class.
You couldn't bring it to class?
No, but that would have been good. Like I said, I wasn't a smooth operator.
You weren't?
No, far from it. I was a geek.
You're a geek? Really?
Yeah.
What was the geekiest thing you ever did?
I don't know if the geek is actually the word for it, because I always been out in my own universe, so I don't really care about what's happening around me. But I was the kid that would go skating from my house to the school. So you would see me in the morning skating. Nobody else would do it. I was always just in my own thing. I didn't really care about anything else. I was always into programming, computers, and all of that.
Do you think that's how she fell in love with you? It was the skates?
I think she just gave up one day. It's oh, you know what? Finally, I'll pay attention to you.
So y'all started dating in high school.
Yeah.
And life became life.
Yes.
You went on and you had a marriage here, a marriage there,
keeping it casual.
And how did you two reconnect?
It was funny. It was through Facebook.
Facebook.
Yeah.
As my mom says, Fable.
Yeah, she sent me a message, and I saw it 2 years later.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I was
gotcha.
Cool. Yeah.
Gotcha.
That's another type of ghosting.
And ghosting. Oh, so you were ghosting?
I wasn't ghosting. 2 years. I didn't know how to use Facebook. I didn't know what to do. I wasn't into that.
Wow. Okay. So maybe you've been missing out on a lot of potential play. You should check Facebook again. Maybe you have some new messages from other girls.
After that, I make it a point to check. Okay, who's contacting me?
So what's it like to be faithful in 2023 in Miami? Miami has the most beautiful women in the world.
I think after my second divorce, I got all of that out of my system.
Really?
Yeah.
Were you unfaithful in the second one?
In the first one and the second one?
You were unfaithful?
I'd rather remain silent. I wasn't unfaithful.
Miranda rights.
Miranda writes, "Oh man, we got." I think that audience member should jump in on the microphone right
so
here.
I think she's ready. But no, like, what's faithful? It's kind of funny because I think now we have we have 2 daughters.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a relationship, and then there's what comes after when you have kids and you have more responsibilities and you have things to worry about.
Yeah.
You don't really have that time. Like, I don't think you have time to be unfaithful, to be honest.
I mean, there's somebody on our staff. And we tell what she tells us anytime we tell her there's no time. She says there's always time. You just got to make time for it. So there could be time for her.
And I guess that becomes part of, like, are you happy with the person you're with or not? I mean, if you're not, you're going to be unfaithful.
Are you happy?
Yeah. Oh.
So what's it like? Like after, I feel like I'm asking all the. This is the aerial interview.
Jesus,
this is the aerial interview.
Why? Like, why do we get?
What's funny though. What's funny? Talk about being single and married. Every Monday morning. Well, we talk every day.
Yeah.
We talk about we talk about 10 days a week, and our Monday morning chats are funny because you tell me about you went to Orlando, you went to Disney, you walked around with the kids. I talk about
other things.
I talk about my escapades.
You talk about your Uber experiences.
My experiences, being single in Miami. Being single in Miami is tough. I'm from North Carolina, and being single in North Carolina is different from being single in Miami.
How is that so? It's the same thing.
Nah,
No?
definitely not. In North Carolina, my town's very small town, and everybody kind of knows everybody's business.
So you already went around everybody?
Yeah, but the game is different. So I remember when I first moved to Miami, I worked at Dolphin Mall. I finished undergrad. I just finished my bachelor's. Then I moved to Miami, and I worked at Dolphin Mall at the T-Mobile. And I had never seen so many beautiful women in one place. It was strange. I wasn't used to it. I wasn't accustomed to it.
Is that because there are no Hispanics over there, or what?
There's definitely a small demographic of just Hispanic people, but what I realized was that
Dolphin means Colombians,
Venezuelans, and I never, Cubans, a lot of Cubans, well, the Cubans are everywhere here too.
They're like the baseline.
But what happened? I remember this Venezuelan girl. I'll never forget her. Beautiful, and I remember I opened the door for her at the store, and she was like, "Excuse you." I was like, "What happened?" She was like, "I have a boyfriend," and I was like, "I just opened the door for you." She was like, "I have a boyfriend," and I was like, "My bad. I'm sorry." It was like my first kind of like interaction with a girl. I just moved here. I was like a weekend to Miami. And I was in North Carolina. It's so common.
You're very polite.
But that's North Carolina.
But you're like sometimes excessively polite.
But that's but that's North Carolina.
Like, you open doors.
Hello, how are you? Good morning. How's your day going?
Good morning.
Thank you so much. It's I worked at Chick-fil-A when I was in high school.
Hey, but Chick-fil-A is a company
it's my pleasure.
That
it's
grooms
my
their
pleasure.
employees to be polite.
Yeah, and I became excessively polite there. I was polite before, and as you call it, excessively polite afterwards.
Yeah,
but yeah, North Carolina dating is definitely different. Miami, you got to have a certain swag. You have to be able to talk to girls. My problem is that my Spanish is not very good. I look like I can speak Spanish well, but I can't. So and speaking to
so you look the part.
I look the part. I just don't quite have the part.
Aww.
This is the thing. What I've learned: women who are raised in Latin America, they have a different mentality when it comes to the game than women who are raised in the United States. Women in Latin America, you have to be more like cariñoso, like more like sweet with them.
And this is the
Amor,
part that you're not good at, right?
bebé. Yvette's looking like no. Yvette's like no. That's not true.
Here. She's from here. She's part of the game.
But that's what I. At least in my experience, that's what I've noticed. Like with women who are raised in Latin America, you have to be more just like genteel. Like you have to really show them that you care.
Yeah, like buy flowers.
Like you really have to do with especially white girls. Where I'm from, it's like, what's up, girl? What's going on? And then that's it. That's the way in and done. Done.
And you move on.
Simple. And
no wonder you go through every girl in the town.
I don't go.
You have to say hello.
And
that's it.
I see what you did there. See, that was unnecessary. That was unnecessary.
I was very polite of you.
That was a little rude. The game is just different. At least that's what I've learned. That's just not what I'm accustomed to. I think education level also plays a big role in dating.
What are you saying? That's actually very dangerous. What are you saying?
I guess a lot of the girls that I hang out with have a certain type of education level, and they think differently about the way interactions go.
So is it easier or harder?
They're not opposed to saying, "Hey, I want to take you out, and I'm paying the first night." I've heard that a bunch of times.
Do you take advantage of that?
It's not taking advantage. Like, sure, I'll go hang out, whatever.
So you let them have their way with you.
Why you gotta say it like that?
I don't know.
It's just a different approach.
What's the approach?
I think different. I think education level does. What's like the thing for you? What's like one thing that, you know what, if your wife didn't have this quality, you couldn't be with her?
Man, that's kind of hard because again, we have a lot of history, and when we met and we started going out, we're in our formative years, you know. So it's like it's a part where you're still trying to find yourself. It's a part of all of that. So a lot of the memories with my wife are us finding each other, like as a person, as a human being, as what we want, our goals, and all of that stuff. So I've always been very driven. That has never changed in my life, and she's super driven as well. And that's one of the things that I think unite both of us. That we both have like set goals, and until we don't accomplish them, we're not gonna be satisfied.
So is it weird? Like, so how old is she? If you don't mind me asking.
How old is she?
Yeah.
She's let me see, 1 month older than me.
Okay, so she's in her 50s. So like.
I know we're gonna blip this out. Can we blur this out?
Rewind. So if she didn't have that drive, do you think you'd still be attracted to her?
I don't think so. I mean, that becomes a part of every person that I've been with does have that drive. That's like a common factor of every person that I've been with. It's a drive. It's something that's what I look for. Like I look for in a person, in a partner. They have to have a drive. If not, it's like, again, what are we doing?
Now you were raised in Miami.
I was kind of raised in Miami. I mean, I came when I was roughly 12, 13. So I can't say I was fully raised in Miami. I was raised in Nicaragua. I was raised with a lot of, I am an educated person as well. You know, I do say good mornings, I open doors and all of that stuff based to the upbringing of the Hispanic society. But when I came here, none of that existed. So it was kind of like a different way. So I've been raised in both countries.
Yeah.
So I have like a mix. So it's kind of weird sometimes because I don't know like which one I'm on right now.
Gotcha. So this drive thing, that is key for you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's a family thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's something, again, within my family, like since you're born, it's sort of like you have to do this, and if you're going to do it, be the best at it.
Do you think a person who's driven at, maybe at some point like runs out of that drive?
I don't think so.
No?
No.
It's just kind
If you're driven, you're driven. If you're not, you're not. And if you're trying to look for it, it's funny because now we live in an age where social media, is kind of king. And when I open my social media account, I see a lot of motivational quotes, a lot of coaches, a lot of life
That's
coaches.
the algorithm, bro. That's the algorithm.
That they're looking for me. I'm like in the spectrum for me to buy a course. But I see a lot of this stuff of, people telling you to have goals, to go and fight for them, to accomplish them.
Yeah.
Like, what do you need somebody telling you that?
You know what's funny? Like, aside from girlfriends and wives or whatever, I think that you look for that drive, and I think in every relationship that you come to value. Knowing you now for a few years, and I see who you surround yourself with, even everybody here, like everyone that we surround ourselves with, I think I share that with you.
Yeah.
Like, we like to be around driven people. But Miami's a place where
you get everything here.
You get everything.
I mean, it's really not. You get everything. And I think like the part of beauty is more of the shell that contains it. But I've seen beautiful people who are driven. I've seen beautiful people who are not. So it's not really a part of how beautiful they are, what makes them driven, or if I'm attracted to them. So it has nothing to do with the actual concept of beauty. It's just part of you. I
think in the dating scene, what's up? We got a question from an audience member all the way from Bolivia.
I do believe she's
all the way from Bolivia. So she sounds a little Mexican, but she is from Bolivia.
Okay, so what's the translation of driven? Like, I'm very dry.
For driven in Spanish?
Yeah.
Can we Google translate that?
ChatGPT.
Una persona que tiene
una persona que es empujadora, que es una persona que tiene es como que tiene
un enfoque y va a alcanzar esta meta y no hay nada que lo va a parar de alcanzar esta meta.
Okay. Perseverante.
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 Okay.
Pero
Pero no
perseverante,
tanto, porque es como
driven.
un componente,
Yeah.
un componente de eso.
Yeah.
Okay.
Driven in everything that you do, you're gonna make it happen. No's don't exist.
Okay.
You make it happen. If you don't make it happen, it's excuses. A person who's driven, like it's the word drive, right? Is because you're going and you don't stop.
Okay.
You know, until you get to your destination.
And do you think that
Or you
changed
crash.
during marriage, or just it's
Ooh.
the one thing that keep along?
Do you think
Years.
drive can change during marriage?
The essence of drive doesn't change. Is what you're driving to maybe what changes.
Okay.
But maybe for women, okay, we see a lot of machismo in Hispanic communities,
What
and
is-
I see a lot of men tell their wife, and I see it in academia, where if a male who's a professor gets a job at the University of Wisconsin, he'll move and he'll tell his wife about it, and she'll be like, all right, cool, we'll make it happen, whatever. If she's a professor and she gets a job at the University of Wisconsin, now all of a sudden it's like, hold up, you're gonna uproot our family? So like I've seen how like men sometimes like stopped, or almost like I remember this girl, her name is what was her name? I think it was like Claudia or something, and she said everyone wants a driven woman until they actually get one. So you value drive, but maybe
Well-
do you see it sometimes where like men like try to stop or inhibit drive
I think this
with
is
their
a part
partner?
of the upbringing process that we're talking about. I do not have those issues. In fact, I ended up back in the U.S. because of my wife, because I wasn't planning on coming back. I was in Nicaragua, happy.
You were single.
I was-
so you
I love how you
were there.
I was in Nicaragua for a little bit.
I love how you said that. I was in Nicaragua happy.
Happy.
I just want everybody to get this. He said that before he came back, he was in Nicaragua happy. Someone call the attorney, get the papers ready.
Oh shit, Raul, I'm calling you. No, but again,
Having fun on the weekends.
I was having fun on the weekends. You know my story.
I
was
know.
surfing. I was going out.
The best clubs.
The Hispanic community.
So in case y'all don't know, I have to tell you, Ariel was a big deal in Nicaragua. Your television company, your production company, your channel, you only messed with like the best, all the artists, all the celebrities in Nicaragua. That's who you were working with. Yeah, really fun circles, fun spaces to be a part of.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, my first time working with you, working with you, I interviewed one of the biggest artists,
to
come out of
from
Nicaragua.
correct,
Yeah. So that was pretty cool.
That was my space back in those days. And no, but again, I believe in love, and when you want
that
something,
makes one of us. Yeah.
when you want something, you go for it. And one of the reasons why I came back again is because, I know my wife couldn't move over there, which would have been a lot easier, I think, in a lot of aspects, is because, again, it's not the same. Our countries are built differently. Their expectations are different. The way of life are different. I believe the U.S. is to work and just keep working and hustling, and you're gonna get a lot. You're gonna accomplish a lot if you're the type of person that knows what they want. If not, you're just gonna get lost. You can work 24/7 and not accomplish anything.
You can run in place or run to somewhere.
Correct.
Right?
And a lot of people here run in place. They're not running towards something.
Man, I know a lot of people who are walking in place.
Some people are sitting down.
Some people are just
Hey,
sitting down.
You never know.
So is that why you prefer educated women?
I don't believe that's a characteristic that he looks for.
It depends on the night.
Depends on what type of the day.
No, I think, I remember one time, I think I was finishing my bachelor's and someone asked me, hey, would you ever date a girl who doesn't have a high school diploma? And I said, yes, absolutely. But then the more I went up in the educational ladder, I realized that it's just different conversations that are happening.
So you wanted to go below 18?
Different.
Is this a
Okay,
confession?
that's weird.
Oh my God.
But no, but I was young. I think I was like, but the point is like,
17?
education is just, and by education I don't mean academically. So when I say education, I mean a certain willingness to be open to thinking. That's what I mean by someone who is quote unquote educated. You can read. I know a lot of PhDs who are idiots. So when I say someone who is educated, I refer to an individual who is open to thinking differently about the world. And that could be someone with a high school diploma. That could be someone with a bachelor's, whatever the case is. So that's what I mean. And if they happen to have a certain experience in different educational fields, sure, we can share that, and that's cool too. But honestly, that's if I'm looking for like something like more serious. I'm never looking for anything serious. Like, and I like that.
That's good to know.
I like that. I know that about myself, and I make that known, in situations, and I like that about myself. Because honestly, when it comes to drive, we are creating something, I think, that we've never seen before, and that requires a certain amount of time. And I think that,
are you referring to like the current venture of Dimelo 305?
Yeah, of Dimelo, yeah. I think with my PhD stuff, I was focused on that 24/7. That was it. That was my drive. That's the day I graduated. I already knew that we were creating something cool.
No, one of the things that I like about you is that you have tunnel vision. The problem with that is that you only have tunnel vision when you care about something.
Yeah.
So to me, like an excellent musician, and you once told me, I learned this because I was just on it 24/7. I practice. There's no way for anybody to get better except if you practice. And then you kind of get upset at me from time to time because
you have a lot of potential and you don't use it and you don't practice. That's
correct.
why. Yep.
Thank
I
you.
sure do get mad at you
bro,
about that.
we're getting to a point here. Okay?
Yeah, sure.
Don't get me sidetracked.
There's nothing worse than a person with potential who doesn't use it.
And I think right now, Dimelo 305, you have that tunnel vision for it, and that's great because you see a lot of stuff that we're building, all the work that it does require, and I don't think it would be possible if you didn't have the flexibility of time that you do.
And I think when you're, I think for anyone trying to start a business and you have business partners, you have to know your business partners' limitations and their strengths. I think you know mine. I think I know yours. We've been working together, for so long now. And it has to complement each other. One of my strengths is time. Talking about dating, there's girls that are like, hey, can we hang out? Nope. Why? Because I'm working. I'm doing something.
See you at 2 a.m.
And you don't think you can do both?
I personally don't think I can do both. I think if I wanted to be good at what I do, I could do both. But I want to be exceptional. I want to be the best. So I don't think I can do both and be at that level that I want to be at. There's a certain sacrifices. I don't play as much music now.
I know.
I don't do certain things.
I've seen it. Like, I see your social media is more like either fitness or this.
Yeah, I don't think I can dedicate to.
And I think you use fitness as a way to like release a lot of the stress that this brings.
Yeah, then this is very stressful. Yeah.
And it's funny because, again, like a lot of people want to become part of the Dimelo 305 team. And we've seen people come in and
the
out.
inbox is crazy on the Dimelo 305 page, yeah.
And when we do give opportunities, we try them out. And then a lot of people leave by themselves. Mm-hmm. When they see that this is serious, we ask a lot. And we ask for you to improve yourself.
Yeah.
Always.
And I think that we're always looking for that potential, And I think, again, we're talking about being, single and being in a relationship. I think the same rules apply. At the foundational level, we're talking about relationships with people. And if you can't enjoy the person that you're with, if you don't share certain ideas, certain experiences, you may not want to be with them. And when it comes to creating a team, I think that I think creating a team might be one of the most difficult things I've ever done. Creating a team is so hard.
You never know.
You never know.
And sometimes it takes the circumstances to arise for you to know this is the person I want to work with, or this is definitely the person I do not want to work with.
Yeah. Listen, dude. So people think my life is crazy. It is a little crazy.
It's actually not crazy. It's what you expect from somebody that doesn't have what I call responsibility in a home life.
I lived in Doral for a year, and I thought it was the worst thing I've ever experienced in my life. I feel like I was back in North Carolina. It was small. It was boring. Kids. I would go to the pool, and I would see kids. I see abuelitas playing with their grandchildren. I wanted to see OnlyFans girls at the pool laying down.
I'm gonna be honest.
That's what I wanted to see.
Unless you don't have kids, you don't understand kids.
Listen, first of all, that's rude because I did have a kid and I gave the kid away.
Listen,
I gave the kid away.
Maria
I had the kid
doesn't count. Okay,
I had the kid for 4 years.
She was a puppy.
I had the kid for 4 years, and then we had to part ways.
I keep telling you can't tell the parent.
I was a dog dad.
And compare
I was a dog
kid.
dad.
You can't.
I was a dog dad.
Listen, but if you have time, go check out the the story that you made about Maria and her
I
driving.
did make it pretty cool.
That was a pretty.
That
cool
was supposed
edit.
to be
That
a
was
series.
That was a
Yeah,
cool
yeah,
series.
yeah.
You stop at one. I'm
I
still waiting
did.
to see what happens.
Listen,
with the car.
I have commitment issues. Listen.
No.
So do you ever miss like
What?
this, like the single life? Like, okay, are there ever moments like where you're like, damn, like my wife is yelling at me again? Like, do you ever just like miss being single?
Don't you get yelled by girls?
And then I never talk to them again.
Yeah, but then you get yelled by a different girl.
And then I never talk to them again.
And then you get yelled by. So you're
And-
always gonna be yelled at. You're gonna be yelled at.
But the
So
difference is
that I
you can
know
walk away.
Yeah, but then you get another person. Then she's also gonna be yelling.
But
The
usually
yelling is
they don't start
unavoidable.
yelling until about like 3 months in. First of all,
It doesn't really matter.
so
bro.
it takes a little while for them to yell.
Nah.
But do you ever miss aspects of being single? I know your nephew's in the room, so but speak freely. Speak freely.
Aspects of being single.
Or what is the biggest thing that you miss from the single life? I know it's not girls. I know that's not your thing, but like what do you miss from being single?
Picking up and go. Okay,
Can we translate that for
Picking
our
up and go?
Spanish?
Recoger y ir.
Ok, básicamente son las 3 de la tarde y decido ir a cualquier lado. Irme a un avión a cualquier lado, irme a un restaurante, irme a un hotel, ir cualquier lado. Entonces,
¿Dejar el qué?
El pelero.
El pelero. Dejar el pelero.
Wow.
¿Qué es pelero?
Yo
I
no
have
sé.
no idea. No one knows here what pelero is.
Oye,
Y ve que es pelero.
Espera, no nos digas. Quiero leerlo en los comentarios. ¿Qué nos dicen que es lo que es pelero?
Gente, mi gente.
Vamos, respondan.
In English,
respondan,
pelero.
respondan.
Pelero. Yep. Dejar el pelero. So that's what you miss from being single.
I think that's the one thing that I'll probably say that I miss is because of how we do it. But with my wife, it's pretty cool because she's the same way and we do those things. So it's kind of like
But you don't. It has to be more planned.
No, there's really no planning.
You have kids though.
They just get in the car and go.
No, I know you. No. Ladies and gentlemen, he is
No,
lying to you
no.
because I know Ariel. Ariel does not just grab a car and go. He has to rent a car.
Busted.
I know this because I stood in line with him to rent the car for over an hour. So you have to rent a car and go.
Okay, but now the apps make it flexible, okay?
Oh, okay, so now you got
Okay,
apps.
so there
you
we
got
go.
apps.
Everything with the app gets flexible. Okay, I do miss a part of me by myself going somewhere. It's not something I still do it. You know, it's not as often as I would like.
Do you think
to.
you'd be a better guitar player if you weren't married?
No, because I have been single with a guitar, and you've seen my progress. I do better.
I didn't know
do
you
get
single.
better.
I met you married.
That is true. I'm sorry.
Which time?
Yeah, which marriage? I believe it was the fifth marriage.
The second one.
But like, so what's like one of the craziest things that surprised you from marriage life? Like when you got into like back in 1987, like when you got into your marriage, like what was like the one thing that like
I
surprised you?
keep telling you, I'm not 50, bro.
Okay, whatever.
Okay?
So what was like the thing that surprised you the most once you did?
You mean about married life?
Yeah.
Okay, there's something that you have to understand. There's married life and there's married life with kids. It's two different things. So which one are you talking about?
Oh, that's a good one.
In my defense, I see it all as just one big prison. So like I don't really see the difference.
There
I
is a
just see it.
difference, though.
I understand there is.
Okay.
I just want you to know that for me, I just see it all as just a terrible black hole. Like that's how I see all of this. I don't like kids. I hate kids.
You know, it's funny.
Like,
I didn't want to have kids until I was 35.
okay, I'm 34. Still, I've never wanted them.
Listen, my thought of having kids came at 35. Before that, I didn't want to have
Listen,
kids.
listen.
Why? Did you have
The people want to
Why?
know why. The people want to know why.
Oh my, the responsibility behind it, having somebody that's always gonna be there in your life, having like they're gonna depend on you, all of that freaks me out. But at 35, I was at a place where I was like, you know what, I'm ready.
Listen,
Eres inmaduro entonces.
Probablemente.
they're asking if you're immature. Wait,
Sigo
what is
siendo-
what,
sigo
but
siendo
what does
maduro.
maturity have to do with it? Like what does that have to do with? What does one thing have to do
I've
with
seen
the
a lot
other?
of immature people with babies.
I see a lot of immature people with kids.
Yeah, at 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23. Doesn't matter.
I can give you my more of an academic opinion on that, but
No,
that's
no,
too
no,
boring.
I don't want to
Yeah,
get
let's
depressed.
see.
Okay?
You see,
I don't wanna get
this is why
depressed.
this is why I don't talk. This is why I
Your
don't
theories
talk.
are very depressing. The whole
This-
thing of
this-
like,
this is why I don't
oh,
talk.
if you have a kid, you're selfish. I like.
Oh, yeah, I do have a-
that's its own
I do have a
podcast.
theory about
we don't
that.
have to worry
Yeah.
about that. You know, but aren't you like worried you're gonna end up alone and die alone?
Why is Okay, first of all, the idea of dying, I don't
I
understand.
mean, everybody dies alone, but like you, like alone. Like nobody's gonna find you.
Can you imagine going up to a girl, hey, will you die with me? Like,
Yeah.
like
In essence, that's what you're doing.
like,
You're making sure you don't die alone. You don't die alone. At least somebody's gonna find you dead, like within a few days.
but I guess I just don't think of the world in that way. I think I have very different ideas about the world and the way I navigate it. As much as I'm a musician and I love sounds, my favorite sound is silence. I love coming home and being by myself. And I love just not having to talk. The other day we had a really long day. I think it was I feel like every day is a long day.
What day is today?
I don't even know.
That's kind of like the question for me. What day is today?
But I got home late and I was like, man, I'm so thankful that I have no one to see right now. You know, my roommate was gone. There was this silence in the apartment. I poured a little glass of wine, sat on my balcony,
Smoke some weed.
No, I've never smoked. That's not really my thing.
Yesterday.
I did and I passed.
Does
to my
it mean, when you
surprise.
passed, does it mean that you were or you were not?
It means that I no drugs in my system.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So it's a different pass.
But like that's my thing. That's like my thing right now. Like I think I do so much, and we're doing this company, and I get home, pour a little glass of wine, and I just chill on my balcony and just watch the sunset or the stars or whatever. Sounds corny, but I enjoy. That's like my time of peace.
I thought I was a romantic one.
I'm a little romantic sometimes. I am a musician.
The other day I saw my guitar.
And she looked back at you and she was like,
did,
"Why don't
she
you play
did.
me?"
Oh my
Yeah.
God, she screamed at me.
She did. No, guitars don't scream.
No, she
No,
did.
They're gentle.
She did
speakers.
because she was pissed that she was inside the bag. It's like I'm not even outside anymore. You know. I kept thinking, I was like, you know what? I need to pick up the guitar and I need to give it at least like 10 minutes just play. But you know what? Like it's funny because you have the way that you get rid of all the stress and anxiety in your life is to work out.
Mm-hmm.
Mine is to go skating.
Yep.
Mine is.
How often do you do that?
I haven't done that in a while, like for a couple of months now. But the other thing that I do to like release some stress, even though I don't know how to play the guitar, I hold it. I don't know what that brings me some.
Ladies and gentlemen, that might be the saddest thing I've ever heard in my life.
And I go clean.
This is
clean, you know.
If you're out there and you're thinking about becoming a musician, don't listen to Ariel. Don't do it.
I'm not a musician. I
Don't
never said
do
I
it.
was.
That might be the saddest thing I've ever heard in my life.
I always
We need to edit that one
Since
out.
I was 18, I always had a guitar in my life.
You're Hispanic. Every Hispanic family has a guitar somewhere at some point in their house. At some point, you have some type of instrument in your house. That's part of the culture, man.
Yeah, but most of the time I've been by myself.
And the guitar.
And the guitar.
And by yourself and the guitar.
Yeah, at my office, you will find a guitar next to me.
Not this one. You'll find an assistant. You'll find an Alejandro, an Alejandra. You'll find a Ved, a Werner in the corner.
That's why I had to take my guitar out.
Okay. He's like, okay, so
when you're in a relationship, you're like, no, we're not together. We're just floating in space.
No,
We're floating. We're floating.
we're hanging out.
It's like
We're
non-committal.
hanging out.
This is relaxed. It's
We're
like,
hanging out.
hey.
We're hanging out. When I'm with you, I'm with
you.
you.
Know what? This goes back to the driven part of everything. I think for any driven person, there's no such thing as balance. You have that tunnel vision of what you want to do, and that's it. That's your consumption of life.
But you know what? I don't know, bro. Okay, you know what my dad told me? My dad ever sees it probably kill me. My dad was at Hurston. The plan was for me to become a professor. That was like full-time, tenure track. That was the plan, right? That was like a family plan.
They invested in this.
And then my dad and my mom give up a lot for me to go to school, especially like early on. But my dad told me, I told my dad about Dimelo the first time I told him, and my dad was, I think this is a bad idea. I don't think what you're doing is right. You've been training to be a professor. What I told my dad was like, Dad, I'm one of the most talented people I know, and you're not.
Again, humbleness.
Are you Leo?
I'm a Virgo.
Humble.
And I think when you're good at or great, I want to believe I'm great at multiple things. It's very tough. So I haven't played my guitar in months. I haven't played my piano. I started playing piano at 5. I haven't played my piano in maybe over a year because Ariel's right. I'm so on this right now. and then I'll come back to it at some point. That's the beautiful thing with music. You can always come back to it. But I don't think, for me in my life, I don't think there is personally a balance like Ariel was. I think it's very tough because I am a professor, and it's very tough being a professor. I remember telling Ariel, we had the other page that we work with, and I was like, bro, I can't do both. I can't think about both. It's either one or the other, and I chose Dímelo. So yeah, I think it's tough. I think it's very tough. I think we're oftentimes forced to work-life balance, but I think I get my sense of balance from knowing that we're doing something great and we're trying to do something, with good intentions. So. No, because I again, it sounds very arrogant, but I know I'm not. I know I can come back to it and I'll be fine. It's funny because I'll pick up the guitar now, and the dexterity in my hands and in my fingers is gone. That ability to just switch, it's not what it used to be. My hands start to hurt. So when you are learning guitar, your fingertips hurt. When you're playing piano, your wrists hurt, and it does hurt now, and it's kind of like a reminder, hey, you haven't been playing. But I know myself. I've been doing it for a while, so like, just give me a couple months, give me a couple weeks. I'll get back into the flow. Muscle memory, I guess. But like, I don't. I don't see. I
don't see it.
Listen.
I give up on
so
that.
his youngest is her birthday is 2 days after mine. She's a Virgo, and she's my homie. She's a very precocious kid. She's too smart for her own good. The way she like formulates arguments. So her and I, we get along very well. Like, I'm always like challenging her.
They fight a lot.
We fight.
She's 5.
Because I love to see her thought process. I have a nephew now for the first time. He's the baby of the family. He just turned 3 yesterday. And my favorite part about my nephew is that I get to give him back to my sister. And it's great. And I love him. And he's cute. Whatever. And he can come visit whenever he wants. But I just like being by myself. Like, and I think you have to know this about yourself, and I think you have to tell the person that you're talking with about these things. I think that's where it becomes a problem, right? Like, imagine like if you know things about yourself that maybe the person might not like, and you never tell them.
I'm not producing today, but it just bugs me that I can't see the second camera on the monitor. We know. And the lights just went out, so I think it's time for us to say goodbye. Till next time.
Why do you have to do that? Why can't you just let people create?
Because they're not creating.
They're creating. We're creating memories.
What's the crazy? What's the memory? I fucked up.
That's all, folks. That's it. I don't know if we're still recording.